Chris Marler on your radio. Make sure to find him on X, also SaturdayDownSouth.com. Brett McCurffay released today his way too early. It's never way too early to talk college football playoff, but some may say that, but way too early. College football playoff projections. He had 4 SEC teams in this from, who you would think, Georgia, Texas, Alabama, and then Missouri. Ole Miss fans would take, they would take up hands for that. They throw hands on that one because the expectations in this state is as high as I've ever seen it for Ole Miss this year to make this playoff. I'm curious to see how this committee, I want your thoughts on this, really does this because, and what I mean this is the selection part. We know that they got to take 4 champions from the Power 4 conferences. We know they got to take 1 group of 5 champion. But then after that, all bets are off because Notre Dame, and they have Notre Dame in this projected field from Brett McCurffay. If Notre Dame wins 10 ball games, they're likely going to get in.
Right.
There's likely a scenario where Liberty runs the table again, and then maybe Memphis or Boise State, and they have Boise State in this field as well, has a good enough season to warrant consideration. How many SEC teams just off the cuff? Do you think it's going to be 4? Could it be 5? Or will we be surprised and it only be 2 or 3?
I think the surprise is the way they're going to end up being with this. So here's the thing. SEC fans, as soon as they started talking about going to a 12-team playoff, the idea and the thought was, and the assumption more than anything from SEC fans was, oh my gosh, we're going to get 4 or 5 teams in every year. Well, we don't know that. We don't know that. We've seen the BCS. We've seen them get 2 teams in a national championship multiple times, and in the BCS era and also the college football playoff, and we've seen them get multiple teams in the college football playoff era as well. But we don't know what this looks like. So the assumption that everyone is just going to get in with 10 wins, I don't see that happening. And what you're going to end up finding is, the thing with Notre Dame is what really kind of pisses me off because you're basically going back to the BCS era with how you're going to treat Notre Dame. And that is, if Notre Dame went during the BCS, if they got to 10 wins, it was an automatic bid. And that's ridiculous.
Yep.
And that's a ridiculous thing to say just because they don't play in a conference. I'll just, before I get on a little rant about it, I don't care that you play a military institute or an academy or something like that in Yankee Stadium once a year. That doesn't translate into having a really difficult schedule for me, and I don't care. So what I do worry about though is in the SEC, getting 4 teams, it seems doable, but you're assuming that you're only going to get 1 group of 5. You're assuming that you're only going to get 1 Big 12. And then where's the rest? Where are the rest of the teams coming from? You're probably getting matched from the Big 10 and getting 4 teams from there, and then just assuming the ACC is only getting 1 to 2 as well. We don't know that's how it's going to work. And when you start looking at these other conferences like the Big 10, like the Big 12, like the ACC, you talk about going 11-1. Who's to say that they don't get in? An 11-1 Clemson probably gets in over a 10-2 Ole Miss or Mizzou or something like that. So I think the assumption that the SEC is just going to kind of run roughshod through this 12-team playoff is not going to happen as much as people think it is.
No, I 100% agree. It's going to be fascinating to watch it all unfold and see how the selection committee does this when we get down to that point. Hey, when I say we, I don't necessarily mean you. I know we haven't talked a lot about it here. Are we sleeping on Tennessee? Should we be putting Tennessee in this conversation?
Yes. And real quick, the Ole Miss thing. I know you didn't ask, but that schedule. It's difficult to look at a schedule in the SEC going into next year with everything they have added with Texas and OU and all that. But you look at Ole Miss' schedule, very favorable. Same with Tennessee. I know I think they have a road game at OU, but you get Bama at home. I think they go on the road to Georgia. I could be wrong about that, but for the most part, that schedule is pretty manageable. And this is going to be an influx of offensive talent that we have not seen yet under Josh Heupel at any stop, right? And that's the guy that made, not just Drew Lock a 4,000 yard pass or whatever it was, but also set the single season record for touchdowns in a season. If he can do that with Drew Lock, think about what he's going to do with a 5-star QB like Nico. And it's not just him; it's the supporting cast around him with the 5 stars he has coming in, like Mike Matthews from my alma mater and Parkview, like some of the other, like Brew McCoy coming back. They are loaded on offense. And the thing about Tennessee that no one has seemed to really understand over the last couple of years, that defense was probably one of the more underrated and overlooked units in the entire country. And at times it's really, really good. So if they can continue to improve, like I think they probably will in year 4 under Heupel, I mean, I think that they are. I like them way over Mizzou to get to the playoffs.
Chris Marler talking college football, little NFL on a Wednesday. Got one more question for you. Hey, do you like college baseball? Do you get into the college baseball?
I do. I like. Now I'm not going to be watching like midweek directional schools versus the SEC teams, but on the weekends like that, when you start getting some of these SEC matchups, I definitely will.
No, I 100% agree, and it should be a fantastic baseball season. Hey, make sure to find him on X. Get him at Saturday Down South. Get the podcast and more. Chris, I always appreciate your time, brother. Look, have a great rest of the week. We'll do it again soon.
Sounds good, brother.